Hey there, welcome to week 6. It's Debbie. How are you? I am really excited to share today's video with you because this is when we start to tweak the structured nutrition, that's not even a word, nutrition, so that it's individualized to you. I took a nap today and apparently I'm still asleep. So what we're going to focus on today is what the metabolic effect people term HEC. You'll often hear them say, is your HEC in check? And you're like, what the heck is HEC? Well, HEC is H is hunger, E is energy, and C is cravings. And instead of stepping on the scale to see if we're making progress, we're going to be monitoring our hunger levels, our energy levels, and our craving levels. These are really important because this is when you're going to see a lot of insight into how your individualized body works. Because you are individual, yes, we all have the same basic needs, but you are very unique in how you're going to function optimally. So here's what we're looking for, and I'm kind of looking at my notes because I want to make sure I get this right. You don't want to step on the scale as your one and only be-all, end-all resource. That is not your goal. So here's what we want to do. We want to get our ratio to be somewhere close to 0.6 to 0.9 when we do the following. When we measure our chest to our hip ratio. We want to measure our chest, waist, hips, okay? Because obviously we all want that hourglass figure, right? Yeah. We want to measure those. Ideally, we want anywhere from a 0.6 to 0.9 ratio. Here's the easiest way to do it. Go ahead and take those measurements. You know that we have our individualized progress monitor. So you have ways to enter these numbers every single week. You need to do this every single week. But for this particular activity, chest, waist, hips, if you go online up on the Google and search for the metabolic effect shape calculator, the ME shape calculator, and they're going to do all the math for you. You're just going to plug in your numbers and they're going to tell you kind of if your body is proportional or not. We want to have that proportionate body. Okay, so let's go back to that HEC in check. We want to see, am I hungry all day, every day? Is it certain times of the day that I'm actually hungry? That means your stomach is empty. You kind of feel that hollowed out feeling, a little bit of that shakiness, maybe getting a headache, kind of weak, unable to focus. That is true stomach hunger. Is that happening often? Are you never hungry? Your body never even gets to the point where it gets that sensation. And then we want that to be rare and random for you to actually get to that point of like, wow, I actually heard my stomach growl. And then moving on to energy. Do you feel like there's this time where you just drop off? Like you could go to bed for the night at 4 o'clock. Do you really struggle through that 1 to 3 p.m. afternoon slump, which 70% of people do? Is it hard for you to get out of bed in the morning, like deeply hard, not just like, oh, I want to hit the snooze button, but you're like, I just cannot. What is your energy like throughout the day? And you can do that as a snapshot, like backing up and saying, overall today, here's how my energy was. Or perhaps you're kind of starting to notice some patterns like, wow, this is when my energy dips. I always have low energy, or no, my energy level is pretty good. And then moving on to cravings. Are these just raging for you where you're like, give me all the junk? Or is it cyclical for you? Is it only at nighttime? Maybe it's right after lunch. Maybe it's the middle of late afternoon. You're like, it's 3:30. That means I should have a treat. What does that look like for you? Or maybe your cravings are pretty blunted. I have spoken with you about using craving cocoa as well as branched chain amino acids. Those, I use BCAAs 3 times a day, no matter what. I travel with it. I'm like, the day I miss them, I'm like, I feel tanked. I really do. So is your cravings kind of, are they manageable? Are they insatiable? how does that look for you? I want you to start tracking how your hunger, energy, and cravings look like, because what we're going to start doing is playing investigator. Our first line of attack sounds really boring, but we're going to increase our water, we're going to increase our fiber, and we're going to increase our protein. That's your number one. If those are not where they should be, if the hunger's out of control, energy's out of control, cravings out of control, if they're not where they should be ideally, that's going to be your first line of defense. Now, let me tell you about next week. Next week is when we get into the nitty-gritty. I've got some awesome PDFs to share with you about how you're going to specifically change. Okay, so the first line of defense, I'm kind of looking at my notes, kind of previewing what you can't see yet, but it's coming. The first line of defense is always more water, more fiber, more protein. So that's what I want you to start doing over this next week. You're monitoring, how do I feel in these 3 areas every day, not for the week, like how's my energy for the whole week? That's too big. Every single day, how is my energy? And then move into how 7 days of hunger, 7 days energy, 7 days cravings, okay? And I need you to be taking those measurements in your individualized progress monitoring chart. That's really important, because I'm going to be asking you, are you getting any changes or not? And if you're not, that's going to help us through week 7. So next week, you're going to be called out for it, and I need to know. Now, I'm not going to put you on the spot or anything and say, like, how much have you lost? How much have you gained? None of that. But I do need you to be checking that out. That's going to take you about 35 seconds to do your measurements. I know it's not maybe your favorite thing, but you don't have to get on a scale. So that's pretty much a win in my book. You can get on the scale if that's something that you want to factor in, but it's not the everything tool. It's just not accurate enough. So, okay, so I think that's it for now. I want you to check in on Facebook. I want to hear. This is important. I want to hear when you have done your measurements. You can share your results. I would love that, but I don't expect it, because I know some of you are really private and personal and don't want to share that kind of information. If you want to, please know it is so encouraging when you do. It really, I mean, if you lost 1/8 of an inch, that gives other people motivation and hope. So I want you to put on Facebook, Debbie, I did my measurements. Only when you've done them. Don't lie. So that's my homework for you, is have you done your measurements? And is there anything else I wanted to ask you? No, I think that's good. Okay, so thanks for joining me for 8 minutes of your day. Enjoy your day, and I am rooting for you. You're doing a great job. Okay, bye.